The studio behind Parallel World Pharmacy is Diomedia. Out of their more than 50 works, they are best known for Domestic Girlfriend. Parallel World Pharmacy's director is Keizuo Kusakawa. Out of their around 30 shows they've directed, they're best known for Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, aren't they? Liz Takayama is the author of the manga/light novel the show is based on, and this is their only IP. Parallel World Pharmacy is about a pharmacist that dies and gets reincarnated as a pharmacist in another world of sword and sorcery. He'll go about inventing cures for things and creating a business. That's about it for the setup. The biggest problem for me is Thematic. The main character has way too many powers. He has like this super powerful magic, some which has to do with medicine, which makes sense, but he has a bunch that seem out of place, like the ability to create big walls of ice. This leads the plot to getting distracted from what I think is the main draw of the show, the practice of modern medicine in a world that still believes in bloodletting. He ends up getting into fights with the church because they think he's an evil spirit, which again distracts and isn't suspenseful because he's so powerful, you'll know he'll win. The worst thing that this show does thematically is that the end arc is all about fighting off the Black Death, which sounds good on paper, but the first problem is something that I didn't even know how to name, called anachronism, where things are out of place because they're from a different time period. For example, a caveman with a gun. The main guy and all the doctors start dressing up like modern-day quarantine workers in Wuhan, while their surroundings just look like, at best, 18th century. Everyone starts wearing these cloth masks that look like they're from the modern day, which just made me irrationally angry. I feel like people should be wearing rags around their faces in this time period and wearing those plague doctor masks, not these things with little cute designs. The other problem with the final arc is that it's orchestrated by an evil magic guy, which I'd be fine with there being biological terrorism. You know, that sounds interesting. But it's from an evil magic guy who's defeated in a fight with the main character that lasts like 15 seconds. It just felt so thematically wrong with all the stuff the main character had been working on in medicine. He wasn't practicing combat. I feel like the final climax of this thing should have just been him practicing medicine to defeat the Black Death, not fighting a guy. Overall, kind of boring to me. The show does have its moments. I think if it was more focused on practicing medicine and curing diseases in interesting ways, it would have been more enjoyable to me. But instead, it gets held back by a weird need to have like this final fight and an unnecessarily overpowered character. I feel like the story would have been way cooler if it was told without magic. If you like this show, I'm happy for you. I guess I'm just not a huge fan of the isekai slice of life stuff. Ranking this show out of all the ones I've reviewed on this channel, I'd probably put it 13 out of 13. Because even though Harm in the Labyrinth of Another World has sex slavery, which I find cringe, at least some exciting stuff happened. Meanwhile, very little excitement is in Parallel World Pharmacy, and it even struggles to tell a thematically cohesive story, in my estimation. That's all I really have to say about this anime. Peekaboo says, "You're good at dissecting anime. Also, I like the inclusion of you showing the ranking of animes. Thanks for the compliment. I like the ranking chart as well." Bagel Mix says, "Why can't they name their shows without putting the genre in the title? It irks me. I get it, but personally, I don't have a problem with it. If another genre did the same thing, I wouldn't be mad. It would be nice if their names could be a little bit more creative though. But I think the real problem for me is just general isekai fatigue." That's it for today's video. I've been Romantic, and I'll see you again next time.